Imagine walking through the gaslit streets of London in 1888. The air thick with fog, the sound of footsteps echoing in the distance. Somewhere in the darkness, a killer is watching. A killer who would become one of the most infamous names in history, Jack the Ripper. Tonight, we're diving deep into the real story behind the world's most chilling unsolved murders. Who were the victims? How did the Ripper strike? And why has his identity remained a mystery for over 130 years? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is the true horror of Jack the Ripper's reign of terror. To understand Jack the Ripper, you need to understand Whitechapel in 1888. This was the underbelly of Victorian London, a maze of narrow alleys, overcrowded slums, and crushing poverty. Tens of thousands lived here in filth and despair. Alcoholism was rampant, crime was everywhere, and women often turned to prostitution just to survive. It was the perfect hunting ground for a killer. And that killer struck in the dead of night, leaving behind scenes so gruesome, they shocked the entire world. Historians agree that 5 murders, known as the Canonical Five, were almost certainly committed by Jack the Ripper between August and November of 1888. Let's walk through each case. Victim 1, Mary Ann Nichols. On August 31st, Mary Ann Nichols, known as Polly, was found on Bucks Row. Her throat was slit twice, and her abdomen mutilated. It was the start of a killing spree that would terrify London. Victim 2, Annie Chapman. Just 8 days later, September 8th, Annie Chapman was discovered in Hanbury Street. Her throat was cut, and her body was horrifically mutilated, organs removed with chilling precision. Victims 3 and 4, the double event. On September 30th, the killer struck twice in one night. First, Elizabeth Stride was attacked on Berners Street, but this time, her body wasn't mutilated. Experts believe the Ripper was interrupted. Less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was found in Mitre Square. Her throat was slashed, her face disfigured, and her organs removed. Victim 5, Mary Jane Kelly. Then came the most gruesome of all. On November 9th, Mary Jane Kelly was found in her small room on Miller's Court. The scene was so horrific that even hardened police officers were shaken. Every part of her body had been mutilated beyond recognition. Part 3, The Investigation and Letters. 5:30 to 7:30, the police launched one of the largest manhunts in British history. Detectives interviewed hundreds, patrolled the streets, and posted rewards. But the killer always stayed one step ahead. Then came the letters. Some signed Jack the Ripper the first time the name appeared. The most famous was the Dear Boss letter, which taunted police and promised more bloodshed. Today, experts believe many of these letters were hoaxes, likely written by journalists to sell papers. But at the time, they fueled a frenzy. Over the years, hundreds of suspects have been named, from local butchers to surgeons, even members of the royal family. Some believe Jack the Ripper was a doctor with surgical skill, others think he was just an ordinary man who blended into the shadows. But here's the truth, no one was ever caught. And over 130 years later, the Ripper's identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in criminal history. So why does Jack the Ripper still haunt our imagination? Maybe because he was never caught. Maybe because his crimes were so brutal, so shocking, that they changed the way we see evil. If you want more stories like this, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of the world's darkest mysteries. And remember, next time you walk down a quiet street at night, think of Whitechapel in 1888. Somewhere in the fog, the Ripper might still be watching.